Okay, so the first question is they give you a graph. It's figure 122 on page 365. That's the graph we're looking at over there. And the question is it invertible? Well, what do I immediately notice about this? There's a horizontal line that goes to the curve twice. So I'm going to say it's not invertible, all right? Let me just point that out to you. It's not invertible. And why is that? It fails the horizontal line test, all right? The next thing they asked me to do is they want me to graph this guy over here. And I know that's problematic for some students, but it's a translation problem, and I got to figure this thing out. So the way I would do it is I'd make a table of values up. This way we've been doing it in class, by the way. And I know how these things are connected, but let me put down, x and f of x. And looking at these things, I can blow it up a little bit so I can read it a little bit easier. I'm going to say it looks like -4, -2. I'm looking at characteristic points, by the way, 0 and at 4. And what do you get? You would get 2, 3. I'm just reading from the graph, by the way, -1, and last but not least, you have -2. All right? So what am I going to do now? I want to get the argument, and I want to point out what I mean by that. I'm looking at this thing over here, and I want to graph this thing. I'm going to call it g of x. And we're looking for the characteristic points on this. Now, granted, if you can do it quickly, please do it quickly. If you can do it slowly, do it slowly. So it's going to be x, g of x. Well, my main concern is getting the argument to be the same as this guy over here. All right? So I'll write this down for you. So I want 1 minus x over 2 to be identical to -4. Let me go through that with you. And probably what I would do is I would probably subtract 1 from both sides. And you would get -5. All right? And then I'd multiply both sides by -2, and I'd get x equals 10. All right? Let me do the next one. I'm going to erase this now. I'm done with that. And yes, you can do these in your head if you like. I want 1 minus x over 2 to be equal to the second entry, which is -2. Well, same thing. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And what do you get over there? You get -3, so the x would actually be 6. Let me erase that. And let's go to the next one. And what do I want there? I want 1 minus, and again, if you can do these in your head, please do it in your head. I want it to be equal to 0. And let's go through that. What do you get over there? You get minus x over 2 equals -1. Multiply both sides by -2, and what would you get? You would get 2. 1 point to go. And let's write down. We want 1 minus x over 2 to be equal to 4. Let's go through that. That would be minus x over 2. Let's subtract 1 from both sides. That would be 3. And multiply both sides by -2, you would get -6. All right? So let's take a look at evaluating these points on the graph. All right? And let's do g of 10 now. All right? 1 point at a time, g of 10. You can get 2 times f. Well, 10 would give you what? It would give you 1 minus 5, which is -4. -1. Well, I think I can do that. And the reason that I know what f of -4 is, it's actually 2. What do you get there? 4 minus 1, which is 3. Let's do g of 6 now. And what do you get there? 2 times f. Well, it's going to be 1 minus 3, which is -2. Do you know what f of -2 is? I do. It's 3, so it's 3 minus 1. What's 3 minus 1? It's 2. Let's keep going. I want to do g of 2 now. That's going to be 2 times f of, what do you get? 1 minus 1, which is 0. Do I know f is 0? I do. It's -1. So -1. You know what? I made a mistake, and I didn't do the arithmetic there. I just noticed it. And we would see that in the key anyway. We haven't looked at the key yet, though. So f of -2, let me write this down. 2 times f of -2 was 3 minus 1, and that's 6 minus 1, which is 5. My mistake. You may wonder how I caught that. I looked at, when I'm going forward, I do look backwards. So it's going to be 2 times f of 0, and that's minus 1. Minus 1. You get 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. Minus 1 is minus 3. Let's do f of 6 now. Minus 6, I mean. And you get 2. F of, let's see, you get 1 plus 3, which is 4. Minus 1. Do I know what f of 4 is? I do. It's minus 2. So this gives me 2 times minus 2 minus 1, which is going to be minus 5. All right, so, graphing it, I want to point out, I'm not really that interested in graphing it, but I am interested in the points. Right, so I want to point out, did I get the right points? And we'll look at the graph in a second. Did I get 10, 3? I did. Did I get 6, 5? I did. Did I get 2 minus 3? I did. Did I get the minus 6 minus 5? I did. I want to point out I did graph it. I want to point out when I graph it, I should get something that looks like the parent curve. All right, let's take a look at that. What are you going to do? Graph 10, 3. 10, 3 is going to be, let's see where 10, 3 would be. 10, 3 is here. And the other point that I'd plot down is 6, 5. 6, 5 is here. And the other point I would plot down is 2 minus 3. And the other point I'd plot down is minus 6 minus 5. You should realize, looking at the original graph, that the way we connect these points together is simply with line segments. And that stands to reason we look at the parent function, exactly what the parent would have done. And we're done with that. Thank you.